Hello everyone, after covering chapter 1 and chapter 2 of the Aristotle Poetics, I am again here to cover the third chapter of Aristotle Poetics, chapter 3. This chapter is comparatively short than chapter 1 and 2, and this chapter talks about very few of the things, and this is very crisp and short. There is nothing much to explain in this. So Aristotle begins the chapter 3 of his book Poetics by explaining that there is a third difference in these art forms that we have talked about in chapter 1 and chapter 2. Like we have talked about in chapter 1, the medium, object, and the manner or the mode. So the medium is the thing by which you are imitating, like music, painting, or lyrics, or poetry, or drama, or these are the mediums. And then the object, what is the thing that we are imitating. So Aristotle in chapter 2 later he explains that we imitate men in action in poetry or drama. So it is the object. And then the manner or the mode. So the manner or the mode is either prose or poetry or drama or these types of things. And chapter 3 he talks about a third difference, which is the manner in which these each of these objects may be imitated. So let's see what he is talking about. He says that for medium being the same, if the medium is the same and the objects are the same, poet may imitate by narration. So he is talking about the narration. So we have studied about the first person narrative or second person narration. So he says that the poet may imitate by narration, in which he can take either a different personality to explain the things, as authors or narrators do, or he can speak in his own person, like the first person narrative, where the poet or the dramatist or the narrator explains the plot, explains the story in his first person. So, or the second person, he can choose how he want to do that. So a poet may imitate by narration either by speaking in his own person or by choosing another personality, as Homer. So he is giving an example of Homer, like Homer took another personality to explain about his stories and his epics. So he says that or speak in his own person while presenting all his characters and living and moving before us. So when a poet chooses to make his voice as his own person, not taking the other personality or anything, so then he presents the character and the things in the drama, the dramatic characters and the themes and the things, as moving, as lively, as living, as moving in front of us. Like we are not listening or reading a story, we were viewing a story. Then there are three differences that he is again mentioning these things: medium, object, and manner, that we have studied in chapter 1, and in chapter 3 actually is again mentioning that thing. Now he says he gives an example of Sophocles as an imitator, as same kind of Homer. So he is comparing Sophocles and Homer. So both imitates a higher type of character. We have studied this in chapter 2, where we have studied the difference between tragedy and comedy, and we have studied there that a high type of character is generally seen in the tragic plays or tragedy themes, because it presents the author, the narrator presents these characters as more nobler and more in character, in elevated form than they are in real life. So we have studied this in chapter 2. You can check out the chapter 2 in the channel. You will find it. And first of all, it is recommended that you should study chapter 1, and second, then you should open up this video. So yeah, so he is saying that Homer and Sophocles both imitates the character of a higher type, imitates higher type of character. And from the another point of view, he again gives an example of different poet, Aristophanes. So he says that both imitate persons acting and doing. So character is a person who is acting and doing. Like a character on a stage, he must be doing something, he must be acting something. So, and hence some say the name of drama is given to such poems as representing action. So Aristotle is saying that the name of drama is given to those poems which imitate action, which represent action. For the same reasons, Dorians claim the invention of both tragedy and comedy. So Dorians are the major, they were the major ethnic group from ancient Greek. So Aristotle is saying that they claim to be the founder or the inventor of tragedy and comedy. So later the claim of comedy is put forward by Megarians, and not only by those of Greece power. So he is explaining different groups that were in ancient Greeks who claimed to invent tragedy and comedy. So later he goes on by explaining how they are claiming their claiming it that. So these ethnic groups like Megarians of Sicily and Dorian, these ethnic groups were claiming that they have some relation with the invention of comedy or tragedy. And then Aristotle explains the linguistic relation between the Greek words and the word comedy. So komai or comedy. So he is kind of giving a relation between how ancient Greek cultures or Athenians and these ethnic groups have a relation with the invention of comedy and these things. And so by explaining these things, he have ended the chapter 3rd of the Aristotle Poetics. We have done so far chapter 1 and chapter 2 and chapter 3. You can check out the chapter 1 and chapter 2 from my channel, or I will put the link in the description. And till then, watch these things, and I'll soon make a video on chapter 4. We will continue this series, hopefully. Thank you.